Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a beautiful Sunday morning. I invite you, all of you, on this call. Ask how to ask and receive it too. You can have any ask that you want. Let me take you to the room where all of the participants are ready to ask and receive. Different areas of our life where we have an ask. One ask, or you can ask more than one. There is no rule that you cannot ask for more. What if you can ask for anything and everything that you ever wanted? While we are going to talk about our ask, I would like you to make a list of all those asks that you had in your life and they were not yet fulfilled. So make a list of all your asks which were not fulfilled as yet, as many as they are. And what is your ask right now? Because this call is not about tips and tricks of what an ask should be, what you can ask, what you cannot ask. No formula. I am going to share whatever I learned from my experience in dealing with wide variety of people. So it is not something which I have only read from somewhere. It is something which I have experienced from my life and from lives of people around me. And they have discussed, they have shared, they have asked for facilitation, and they were able to get what they want. And the inception of the idea of doing this free ask call came from my How to Become Money workbook series. Because that's when one of the day, out of the blue, I started speaking about ask. And I had no plan to speak about ask. And for the first time, I had so much of awareness around ask and what makes somebody's ask come true and what makes somebody's ask not come true. And I decided to offer it to everyone, as many people as possible. So, no cheap tricks, but some questions, some revelations, which are going to help you actualize any ask that you have. Let me give a brief introduction. Most of you already know me. My name is Geet Batra. I'm a certified life coach. I've also done Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder Centered Executive Coaching Program, and I'm a Access Certified Facilitator. I conduct my workshops across India and online for Access Bars and Access 4 Days Foundation. I have learned a lot my life, and I would say that I'm not the same person who you have met many years back. Every workshop that I did, it was not just a contribution to my participants, but I did not remain the same person. Recently, I read somewhere, no man ever crossed a river twice, because when he crossed the river second time, he was not the same man, nor was the river. So I have grown so much being a life coach, and also I've grown so much by interacting with people across India and abroad, that I would like to share more and more with people. So how I relate to them, I relate to them as a gardener. I relate to them as a lighthouse for those who are looking for their path. And as a gardener, I love seeing people bloom. I would like to help them to reach their highest potential, to be the best version of them, to help them be themselves. Because only when you be you, you become beautiful. So, what is this call about? And how do you take this call and how do you receive from this call? You receive this call not with logic. Because what we are going to create with this call is a lot of magic in your life. And magic lies at the end of logic. So, everywhere you tend to ask yourself questions which are logically oriented. I would like you to perceive and receive the energy from this call rather than getting into logic. Oh, this can happen, this cannot happen. Just perceive the energy of what I am saying, and something will shift by the end of this call in your life ahead. So, let me begin by asking, what exactly is an ask? What do you mean by ask? You may reply in chat or you can unmute yourself. I would like to know, what do you mean by an ask? Yes, anyone? Someone?
It's
Something
unconditional
that
ask. It's unconditional.
Unconditional. Okay, all right. Thank you, Samiksha. Yes, who goes next?
uh, something that we always thought of and wanted
Okay,
in
all right, all
Something
right.
we desire to have.
Something you desire to have. All right, okay. What if there is no right and wrong answer? What if your ask and your understanding and your meaning of ask is unique? So, what does an ask mean to you?
Fulfillment of your pleasure.
Sorry, didn't get that. Say that again.
Whatever gives you the fulfillment and the pleasure.
Got it. Whatever gives you the fulfillment and the pleasure. So that means an ask is not one time thing in your life.
No.
It's not a one time thing in your day.
Okay. In a day, yes, but not in life.
So what if it cannot be just one time thing, day or any time duration? What if every moment you can have an ask? So how is ask different from wish and desire? How is your ask different from your wish or desire?
They're momentary.
They are momentary.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ask is something for which we are ready to accept and we feel we will get.
Okay. So how is it different from wish?
Wish might be something that we're just wishing and we are not sure whether we're going to receive it or not.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And how is desire different? Yes, Suyash.
It's mostly not yours.
Aha. How awesome is that? Lovely. So thank you for sharing that.
You could hear that.
So a wish is something that you have in the moment decided to ask, but deep down you are not energetically aligned. You are connected to the universe almost all the time. You are the universe. So haven't we heard in Hindi, Aham Brahmasmi? If you are the universe, that means you are constantly vibing along with the universe. Energetically, if you are not aligned to what you are asking for, you will not get it. A wish is something in the moment you decided to ask, and then you gave yourself permission to call it a wish because it was just a wish. It did not had wings, and you knew that it is not possible. You just flew up in the air and said, "Acha nahi bhi mila to then also I'm okay. Even if I don't get it, I'm fine with it." And desire is something which inspired you to have, which belonged to someone else, and you said, I would like to have that if possible. There is still an if. An ask is a first person desire. It doesn't stem from someone else. It is yours. And you don't care whether somebody else have it or not, whether somebody will approve of it or not. An ask is simple. An ask is stupid. And a lot of times we tend not to ask. So why do we don't ask? Why do we don't ask? Anyone? Why do we don't ask?
Fear that people will think about something about us, judge us.
Yeah. So what qualifies as an ask is ask is not a provable desire. A desire is something someone else has. But you make your ask, will it be approved? Will it make me look stupid? If it is, then I'm not going to ask. If you were not resisting being wrong, what would you ask? A lot of times when, you know, I'm gifting a symphony of possibilities session to my participants, any of my call participants, and I speak to them one on one. And during one on one, when please keep yourself muted because there is a background noise. It tends to make my voice not clearly audible. Yeah. So when they speak to me in person, they have a different ask. But the moment they have to type their ask in the group, their ask changes because they would look at what would somebody else say about my ask. Some of you know and believe that making 50 lakhs per month is also a possibility. But you won't ask something like that in a group because then it won't be an approvable desire. For some people, making 5 lakhs in 3 months is also difficult. How can you ask 50 lakhs? So your ask changes. That is not an ask. If you are looking for somebody to validate your ask, that is not an ask. That is an approvable desire. So how many times you have been asking only the approvable desire and you still don't get it? So all of us may have traveled in flights. So the good old times where Air India, Indigo and all other flights, wherever you travel, they used to have, the snacks included wherever you are traveling, tea, coffee, complimentary. One day when I was traveling and I was hungry and I finished my sandwich and I finished my tea and I was still hungry. And it was a 3 hours flight. And the question was, can I ask for another sandwich because I'm very hungry. I haven't had anything for 14 hours. Can I ask? Then I said, what's the problem in asking? It's only an ask. At max, she would tell me, you're stupid. Then I said, I haven't had anything for last 14 hours. Can I have another sandwich, please? She said, yeah, sir, sure. Is there anything else that you would like to have? I was like, oh, anything else is also possible. So then I said, okay, I'll have some mango juice. Okay, great. That's an ask. It was simple, it was stupid, and it had no strings attached. What if your life is a buffet lunch? You can go and serve again and again. You can read anything from the menu or outside the menu and you can ask. I remember going to a Chinese restaurant and my friend said, "मेरे को तो लस्सी पीनी है." And I was like, मैं किसके साथ आ गया? You know, he's going to get me insulted. And he asked the waiter, and he says, "Let me check with the chef." And he got a lassi in a Chinese restaurant. How does it get even better than that? That's how your ask is. It's not a wish. It's not an approved desire. So how many of you have stopped yourself in asking something just because you wanted it to be a provable desire? You were seeking validation. Would you like to share anyone? Would you like to share anything from your past experience? Feel free. Yeah. So next time when you have to ask something, feel free to ask anything without making it significant. How many of you have watched my recent video of brown rice? Yeah. Okay. I can't see everyone, so you might have to give a thumbs up or something like that. That's how I'll know from the reactions. Yeah. So let me repeat that story once again. There was an old man in Burma. He went to the city, found a job, and every day at the lunch time, he would go to a restaurant, walk into a restaurant. And in that restaurant, he would walk in, and with a big smile on his face, he was a jolly old man. And he would look at he would approach the restaurant owner and he would say, "Is there any brown rice?" And the restaurant owner will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we only serve white rice." And he says, "Okay, thank you. Give me one plate." The next day, after during the lunchtime, he would go to the same restaurant and he'll say, "Do you have any brown rice?" And the restaurant owner will say, "Oh, sorry, we have only white rice." And he would say, "Okay, give me one plate." And third day, he will go there again, and fourth day, and fifth day, and every day ask, "Do you have any brown rice?" And he kept on doing for days, weeks, months. And he kept on doing for 6 years. And one day he went to the same restaurant and he said, "Do you have any brown rice?" And the restaurant owner says, "Yes, we have brown rice." And he says, "Okay, give me one plate." The difference between somebody else and the old man from Burma, he kept on asking for brown rice without any computation, without any judgment, without any conclusion. The difference is of attachment and commitment. He was committed to have brown rice and in the same restaurant. And he did not stop asking. You may have traveled with kids, maybe a long drive to another city, and kids keep on asking, "Kitni der mein aayega? Abhi kitni der hai? How long will it take?" And you keep on answering, but they will not stop asking. You may get irritated. That's your problem, not theirs. Kids know how to ask. Because for them, as of now, until the age of 7, they do not understand the right and wrongs that we are living our life from. And these right and wrong are nothing but cages in which you have caged yourself, sentenced yourself, so that you don't ask, so that you don't expand. Kids do not understand these boundaries. They will keep on asking. And when they are young, they will even keep on asking for the moon. And most of the times, they do even get it. As fathers, mothers, parents, or even elderly cousins, when they ask you for something, you turn around the entire world to make it happen also for them. That's how the universe is like. It is at your command. It is willing to give you whatever you are asking for. Are you willing to receive? Are you willing to believe? Are you willing to ask? Farida, you have a question?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is just bubbling up right now because it's been years I haven't had a vacation with my children. So during the 10 seconds increments, I always choose to have a wonderful vacation with my children. And then today, when you say that list your asks, which has not been fulfilled, and the number one was vacation with children. So now this is bubbling up that choosing and asking, like it's going.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether choosing and asking are two different things. Yeah, they
No,
are.
they are not. They are
Yeah.
not. Beautiful thing is, once you choose, the universe knows it's your ask. Yeah, a lot of times you are not even choosing because you have considerations around it that you cannot choose. It is not justifiable. Nobody will validate it. It's not a provable desire. Yeah, and asking is much more wider. A lot of times asking is required in two people. You don't even ask because you assume you will get it, and if you don't get it, you are okay. Then it is a wish. You're just wishing, you're not asking, you're not even telling that person. What if that person is also willing to give it to you, but they have consideration, oh, you will not accept it?
So do you make a demand? Do you make a demand or?
Absolutely. Ask. If you're not demanding, how is it an ask? You make a demand of you make a demand of universe, you make a demand of others, but you do not get attached to it. Because one of the things that stops your manifestation is when you start defining how. It's not your job to define how. How is job of the universe. It is like if you are going to use a horse cart, don't be the horse. It is the job of a horse and horse cart man to drive that cart, not your job. Your job is to ask, this is where I want to go. Yeah. Harbhajan, do you have a question?
Yes, I just wanted to say what I'm understanding, and you can tell me if I'm off.
Sure.
All right. So about that right wrong thing, I feel that everyone does something because they think it's right. Like you are conducting this because you think it's right. A rapist rapes because he thinks it's right. A murderer murders because he thinks it's right. When you think something is wrong, you stop. Right. So it's not upon us to decide if the other person is wrong or right. Because if they didn't think it was wrong, then if they didn't think it was right, they wouldn't do it, right? Secondly,
So what's your ask? What's your question?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, what's the difference between desire and ask? Because you said that desires are based upon someone else. They are not ours, basically. So
Sure.
isn't things like our desire to live, does that also stem from someone else?
Okay, so if somebody doesn't desire to live, they will stop their breath. They will hold
Yeah.
their mouth and they will close their nose. Try doing it. I have not seen anybody who is trying to do that. So desire to live is given. Desire to die is different. You started with right and wrong. Are you an access person? Have you done an access workshop?
No.
Okay, all right. So that is one place where you would get to understand what is right and wrong and how it works. And by the way, I'm not conducting this workshop because I'm right or wrong. I would love to be wrong. And it would be a lot of fun to be wrong. And it is always fun to be wrong. I am here because I have found a way which works for me. I found a way which has worked for people around me. And I'm sharing my excerpts from my experience. I have moved in 2015. I moved to Bangalore, and when I was looking for a job, my ask was to go to a place which is near nature, very green, and it has moderate climate. And that was my ask. It doesn't matter where it is, even if it's Honolulu or Timbuktu, it didn't matter. And I got a job opportunity in Bangalore. And I experienced exactly that. Nature and a moderate climate. The kind of house I wanted, I got exact house. And then I had to move from Bangalore and I asked for another place which is nature and moderate climate. And I moved to Indore. And I still have in some of my notes a rough design of the kind of house I would like to live in, where this would be my room and that would be my parents' room. And if you look at that map, my previous house was exactly that. And then I moved to another house because I wanted to be even more closer to nature. I have 2 trees in my yard. Finding something like this in Indore is not so easy. But you can hear koel calling almost entire day, even in this season. Birds chirping. There are sparrows. There are various kind of insects who would come and sit on you. And it's a beautiful place. And since the last 2 years, since I have relocated to Indore, the climate of Indore is also changing. And it's pleasant and it's moderate. Because I experienced all this magic, and because in my How to Become Money Workbook 10 call series, people started getting their ask in magical ways, I thought that I must do this call and contribute to more people. I could have charged for this call and people would have paid. But there were a lot of people who were stuck between ask and desire and ask and wish. So my intent was to reach to all those more number of people so that they can also start asking. That is what my purpose. So it was not about right and wrong. And the difference between desire may stem from somebody else's ask. If somebody says that I would like to have a Lamborghini, and you say, I would also like to have a Lamborghini. That person may be working towards it. You may not be working towards it. That person may be coming from an affluent family. You may not be coming from an affluent family. You may have more doubts than that person. For that person, it may be just asking his father that on which birthday will you give me Lamborghini. For you, it's different. So an approvable or desire comes from somebody else's ask. And you make it your ask. And then you are constantly judging your ask. That I also ask, but universe doesn't give me. The universe is a abundant an unconditional universe. It has no favoritism. It's just that it doesn't understand your language. So a lot of us already know that our thought, feeling, and emotions are energies. If you keep on changing your ask, if you throw energy off your ask and say, okay, I believe this ask is there, but it should only come in this way. If it's a Lamborghini, only yellow Lamborghini. If I want a MacBook, it better be MacBook Pro this configuration. But when your ask is that I want a laptop or a desktop for doing this purpose, that's a crystallized ask. And then universe knows what to do. Because if you ask for a MacBook Pro with certain configuration, you might get an older MacBook Pro also. Are you okay with that? Because your ask will come to you in a different way. If your ask is to conceive, universe will give you conception. It may or may not give you the child. What exactly is your ask? Is it a child or enjoy the joy of motherhood? Or is it conception? So what exactly is your ask? Because if it is about MacBook Pro, then you would be constantly thinking about the amount you may have to spend for MacBook Pro and constantly judging, I have it or not have it. So what qualifies an ask is that it is not a wish where you have checked out that even if it doesn't happen, I'm fine with it. It is different than desire. And it is not a conditional ask. So people have conditional ask that I would like to have a salary of 4 lakhs per month. If your desire is to have 4 lakhs per month, or if your ask is for having 4 lakhs per month, why have you defined it that it should come only from salary? That's a conditional ask. You have put a condition on it. So check all that list of 10 asks that you have written down. Are they conditional asks? The second, is it a doubtful ask? Are you already doubting your ask? Or have you got no doubts? You are so simple, so stupid, and so committed that you have put an ask and you don't want to think about it. Then the doubts go away. Third, is it an evaluation ask? Evaluation ask is when you are just checking the universe. And I have done it many, many times. And I know it is stupid, but I still do it. Something I ask and it happens and I say, okay, universe, one more ask. By tomorrow, can I have 1 crore in my account? It's an evaluation ask. You have already checked out that it is not going to happen. That doesn't work. An evaluation ask. Universe is not here to give an exam. Universe is here to give you what you ask for, and are you resonating in that energy? Fourth is a gambling ask. So this 1 crore ask that I have, it's a gambling ask. मिल गया तो ठीक, नहीं मिला तो ठीक है. एक ask waste हो गई ना. I only wasted one ask. So it's a gambling ask. In reality, ask is something extremely simple. It's as simple as KISS. KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. Whereas most of the time we are defining our ask as anatomical juxtaposition of two orbicularis oris muscles in contraction. I repeat, anatomical juxtaposition of two orbicularis oris muscles in contraction, which is a scientific explanation of what a kiss is. Whereas all it means is keep it very simple and stupid. What is your purpose of ask? If you define your purpose of ask, you will get it. A lot of times you're not defining purpose of ask, but how it shows up. Manifestation is about that it shows up, not how it shows up. So a lot of times your ask requires belief. The belief in it is so loud that you will get it. However, we tend to ask too many things, and you may be dissipating energy of each. It's like making the ask too significant and putting condition in a way to ask. And you're asking multiple things that even if I don't get one, I might get another one. It's like having a water flask with multiple holes in it. None of them have that required flow. So one ask at a time. I don't mean to say that you cannot ask another one, but when you're asking something, when you're manifesting something, have one ask at a time. Do not mix. You can wait for 5 minutes and have another ask. But one ask, not in one breath. That is how you ask. So why do we not ask? One of the reasons is we would like our asks to be justified, validated, approved. You're constantly judging whether I am worthy of having an ask. Of course, you are worthy of everything in this world. And that is why asks need to be stupid. So asking for a MacBook Pro or motherhood is not stupid. You deserve it. Just know you deserve it and you chose it. And you made a demand. That's how it is. No judgment is required around that. Absolutely null. It's an ask. Now, you do not ask because you are unable to either justify or you have a judgment first and then stick to it. And judgment is like a right and wrong. Whether my ask is right. So like I was asked just a few minutes back that whether it's a right or wrong. As per who? If it's your ask, then it definitely is right. Even if you're asking for 5 crores a day, it's your ask. It is right. Nobody else has the right to decide if it fulfills the criteria of not being conditional ask, doubtful ask, evaluation ask, or gambling ask. Judgment, when you have an ask or disbelief in your ask coming true, it's like a veggie. It's like a stop that you have put on your ask. So check from the list of 10 if you have a judgment about your ask. If there is something where you are rejecting receiving. I have one amazing example, and this would fit into most people. A lot of times you see something. It could be a dress, it could be a car, it could be a gadget, or it could be a class or a course that you wanted to do. And you look at that and you say, oh, it's so costly. And the moment you say it's so costly, you have judged it, you have put a veggie so that you don't receive it. You have given yourself a permission and sentenced yourself to a lifelong not being able to afford it. The game is over the moment you said it's too costly. And then you are only wishing for it, that someday I will do it, someday I will have money to do it. There is no ask in that. I look at a BMW and I say, I ask for a BMW. And I have no point of view whether it will come, not come, when it will come. It's an ask. When you have something which you desire or wish, convert it into ask without any question. And then constantly be in that state of mind. What would it be like for me to have it? What can I be or do to have it? And that's when your ask would fructify. So next time when you say, it's so costly, instead say, I would like to make that much money to pay for this. And there is power in it. There is choice in it. There is demand in it. By saying it's so costly, there is no demand. There is no ask. There is a judgment of you, universe, and your ask, and yourself. It's like you are telling the universe, you cannot give me because it's so costly and I'm not willing to receive it. If I'm willing to receive, I would actualize whatever ask it is. Because asking is also about being. There is a science of ontology which says to have anything in your life, you have to be that energy first. And then from being that energy, you do. And from doing is how you actualize it to have it. So when you are in that belief that one day I'm going to own the MacBook, have Lamborghini, or you are being that energy, spend time with my family, a vacation, it will come true. You don't have to judge it. Just say, jab hum jayenge. Or this is how you be. Because, and this is very common example which I take in my boss workshop, that you become a mother first, then you have a baby. You don't become a mother when you conceive. You don't become a mother when somebody asks you, when are you going to have a baby? And you have a thought about it. You probably become a mother even before you get married, when you think one day I will be married, I will have kids. You even become a mother when you have your first doll at the age of 4. And you start feeding your doll, dressing up, bathing. That's when you become a mother. So you always be something first. And people think when I have lots of money, then I will do this and do that, and then I will be rich. No. You be rich first, and then do what a rich man do. It doesn't mean spend, but you treat yourself like a rich man. And then you have money. Because you have to think and be that energy. And when you be that energy, the way you are connected to the universe, anything would come true. Are you willing to be that? Or have you already checked out that you cannot be that? So before you ask, let go of anything that can stop you from receiving that ask. What stops your ask? One of the things that stops your ask is, and this is very important and you may honor that, the way you have total choice or free will, somebody else also have their total free will and choice. So honor the other person's free will or choice. You may have an ask for someone to love you back. But remember, it's their choice. You can have the ask, unconditional, stupid. But remember, it's their choice. Your ask is not to manipulate somebody else's choice. So if someone else's choice is there, you can still ask. And you may get it or not get it, but it is other person's choice. Are you willing to be committed despite it involves somebody else's choice? Because if they have been asking unconsciously, you may get your ask because their ask is unconscious and your ask is conscious. You will get it. Because who is connected to universe the most, who is in alignment of that energy of ask, will get it. The second thing that stops you, when you have your ask with too many conditions, mixing too many ask or too many conditions, it is confusing to the universe. The energy that you be, whatever energy that you be, let's say it's going in certain wavelength, there is no right and wrong energy. Energy is just energy. There is no judgment about energy. It's just multi-directional. So at one point of time, you say, okay, now this money is coming to me, I will travel. No. I will buy gold because this is time of Dhanteras and Diwali, so I will buy gold. And then you say, no, my family vacation is important. And then you say, no. First, I have to refurbish my house. Now, these are conflicting ask, contradictory. There is a cognitive dissonance in you. When you have so much of this, you are stopping your ask. It's not simple, it is complex. It is ambiguous. So that is the time when it stops your ask. It confuses the universe and your energy is not aligned. So some of you who have experienced Symphony of Possibilities session, the purpose of Symphony of Possibilities session is for you to have an ask and the person who is giving SOP distant session to you, matching your ask with your energy. And then passing it on to universe that this is their ask. But most of the job of aligning your ask and your energy is you. You will do it. The SOP practitioner will only be facilitating you in aligning to that energy. Okay. So another thing that stops your ask is judgments. And here I would speak a little bit in Hindi because the words are beautiful. आपकी जो एक जिंदगी है ना, आपकी जो जिंदगी है वो एक सिक्के की तरह है. इस सिक्के के दो पहलू हैं और हम में से हर कोई एक ना एक पहलू को ऊपर रखता है, एक ना एक उसके साइड को ऊपर रखता है. और वो जो दो साइड है वो एक साथ नहीं हो सकती. एक साइड होती है शुक्रिया करने की, शुक्राना, और जो दूसरी तरफ है, दूसरा जो उसका भाग है, दूसरा जो पहलू है, वो पहलू है शिकायत. आप या तो शुक्राना कर सकते हो या शिकायत कर सकते हो. आपकी आस्क इसलिए नहीं पूरी होती, आपकी चाह, आपका चुनाव, आपका चयन इसलिए सच नहीं हो पाता है क्योंकि आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा टाइम शिकायत में लगाते हो. आपको अपने से शिकायत है, ऊपर वाले से शिकायत है, आपको विश्व से शिकायत है, पॉलिटिशियन से शिकायत है, पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम से शिकायत है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम से शिकायत है, अपने बच्चों से शिकायत है, अपने पेरेंट्स से शिकायत है. सब तरफ सिर्फ शिकायत ही शिकायत है। क्या ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, क्या सही नहीं हो रहा है, बस सही गलत में ही पूरी जिंदगी चली जाती है। और यही आपके दिमाग का, आपके मस्तिष्क का एक ही काम होता है, पूरा समय शिकायत ढूंढना कि क्या सही नहीं है। पोस्टमार्टम में बिजी रहता है कि पास्ट में ये हुआ था और उसकी शिकायत क्या है, वहां पे क्या गलत हो गया था। द मोमेंट you put the other side up, which is gratitude, shukrana, you will realize it is not what you don't have, but it is what you do with what you have. ये उसके बारे में नहीं है जो आपके पास नहीं है, जिंदगी उसके बारे में है जो आपके पास है और आप उसका क्या इस्तेमाल करते हैं. So everywhere you have been choosing grievances over your gratitude, you will not be actualizing your ask, and especially if it is related to your ask. So when you ask next time, have it be so simple, so stupid, and in such a commitment or committed manner that you don't judge it. Ask is not like planting a seed one day and then next day going out and plucking out the seed and seeing how much it has grown. You are not worried about it. There is so much of belief. There is so much of commitment and belief that you know it will grow. I don't know when it will grow, because how is job of the universe. When you put a ask, when you put your vibrational alignment and energetic ask in the universe have to change a lot of systems, reconfigure the entire universe again to actualize your ask. Even if you were God and somebody asked, you won't present it like that. You have to configure the entire universe. It's like reconfiguration. It's like giving a fabric to a tailor and you asked for a dress and then next day you go and you say, no, change everything. This is not what I want. I want a different design. So your ask is like straight. It doesn't change. You cannot say that I want to be with this man and next day you say I am over with this man. I do not want him anymore in my life. And then next day you say, this is the wise decision to be with that man only. And next day you say, no, I'm doing it for my kids. You cannot change your ask. That will confuse the universe because that reconfiguration may take universe even longer. It's not that you cannot do it. You can do it, but you know that is like precisely why your ask was not actualizing. And whenever you have these conflicting asks, universe says, okay, I will wait until you decide. And it keeps waiting for several months and years until you decide finally whether you want that MacBook Pro or not, whether you actually want to be a mother or what you said at the age of 12 years was true. So look at all your ask and see where exactly have you been stopping your ask. ये जो शुक्राने और शिकायत वाली कहानी है, आपके हाथों में सिर्फ आज है और आज में है एक नए चयन का विकल्प. ये जो जीवन है इसमें एक पौधे को आप सींच रहे हो, जिस पौधे को आप सींचोगे वही बढ़ेगा। वो शुक्राना है या शिकायत है, वही बढ़ेगा। और जिस चीज का आप शुक्राना करते हो वो आपको और मिलेगा, जो शिकायत आप करोगे वो आपको और मिलेगा। Whatever you resist, persist. So if those 10 hours you have been complaining about कि अभी नहीं आया है, it has not happened as yet, it's a shikayat, it will stop coming. But if it has come to you even in the smallest way, receive it. Yeah. So how do you actualize your ask? Being is the first, having is later. So you be first. And when you be, there is no doubt or judgment about it. You ask with total ease without any song in the background or without the background music in your song. So look at all your 10 asks and qualify which are the asks which has no background music to it. No conditions, no doubts. Which of them have no conditions or no doubts? Yes. Were you able to qualify some of the asks? Yeah. I would like to take questions. We'll talk a little bit more around questions and answer for you if there are any questions. And I would like you to be on camera. It would look good. And others can mute themselves. Anybody who is asking a question, they can remain. Yes.
Yeah, I have got a small question.
Yes, Sushilji. Hello.
How are you? Very good morning.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
See, my question is that when we say in excess without any space and time constraint, so you're saying that at one time you make one ask only so that the cosmos can or the nature can understand it. You see that then we are just having a limitation of time. I just want a clarification just on that.
Sure. So space and time is how? Space and time are constraints of this reality, only of this reality, our reality. And that is something which is in with the universe. You don't say that I want this ask to be fulfilled by 30th of November. Your ask is primarily.
No, my question is.
मैं दोनों आंसर कर रहा हूँ. One I am answering on space and time, and the other one that you cannot have more ask. I am saying at one moment, right now, in the moment, have one ask. 5 minutes later, you can have another ask also. Some other ask.
Okay.
But when you are like, you know, एक बार में एक गोली चलाएंगे.
Okay.
दो गोली नहीं चलाएंगे. That is what I am saying. So that your focus remains on one ask.
Okay.
Because energetically or vibrationally, you will not be aligned. So when people ask for a symphony of possibility session with me, I request them to stick on one ask.
Okay, sure.
In one session. So I am coming from there because that is where I have learned their asks actualize when they have only one ask. It actualizes fast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Understood.
Okay?
Understood. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Anybody else? What is it that your ask is, and what is your question? Yes, Sanya.
Now, for example, from today's SOP session, I have demanded that I want to lose 2 kg for consecutively 5 months.
Yeah.
Now, honestly speaking, when I put up an ask, it's very, very natural that comes to me, and just I decide, okay, this is what my mind is telling me, and I want this.
Okay.
I don't think twice or thrice on it. And sometimes there is no, मतलब अभी मेरे दिमाग में कुछ भी नहीं है. I'm just blank कि वो कैसे होने वाला है.
Got it.
So I am just freely asking for
Got
it.
it.
I
Now,
don't think कि वो कैसे होगा.
Got it. So it's perfect. However, universe have a lovely sense of humor. It will make you lose 2 kgs every week or every month, and it will make you gain 5 kgs as well.
Oh no.
Yeah. So how do you crystallize your ask? You say, my body had been enjoying a perfect weight of 54 kgs. What would it be like to be of 54 kgs once again for all eternity?
So this is my ask from SOP session then.
54?
It's weird. 60.
54?
No, I was always 60.
Okay.
So I want that.
Great. Simple. I ask for that. You don't want that. Remember,
Yeah,
want, write it down and tear it up.
Okay.
Want
and need, I'll write and tear.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Who goes next? If you don't have any questions, that's cool. There may be, yes, Farida. Hi. Yeah.
Yeah, I am in a situation for the past 3 to 4 days. I have been asking that if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? Because I have a situation where I have to choose one. I'm going into a medical thing, and I have to choose one place. Okay. So there is so many things going around that, okay, the costing, one place is high, one is average. And when you say that when something is costly, I would like to make, how would I like to make that much money to pay for it? So this is one thing I got right now.
So let me talk about something here. You're not asking. What you are doing is decide. Decide means to cut off, to kill options. There is no choice here. You remember this exercise from Access Bar's workshop? Light and heavy. Just do that. 3-4 दिन तड़पने की क्या जरूरत थी? You don't need to ask me. You know it very well. Just do it. And if the answer doesn't come, don't take a decision. Sorry
to cut you off, but there is so many things going on with the dates, and I'm juggling between the dates to have my procedure done and to be on time for the foundation class.
Where is the question in that? There is no question in that. You are trying to control. When Sushilji asked about space and time, you don't control. Control is for you to make choices. That's the only control you have. Controlling the outside circumstances. How many of you can control outside circumstances or anyone else other than your choices? Control is the universe. You are only control of your power to create, your creativity, your choices, your awareness, and you being control of all of that. Yeah. So there is no question in that. What if you can ask a question? And the moment you ask question, it will set you free of all this thinking is stinking. Mind is a dangerous thing. Waste it. Keep on saying, mind is a dangerous thing. Waste it. Choose. And probably none of these 2 places are light for you. Check. And if it is not light, don't do it. Do what is right for you, true for you, expensive for you. Not expensive, expansive. And it has got nothing to do with cost. Money is the easiest thing. Once you ask for it, you will get it. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad I could speak about this. I had forgotten about this part. Decide. Decide is to kill options, to cut off, to be right. What would you choose, being right or being free? Yes.
There is one more small question. Can I ask?
Yes, please. Please ask.
See, what I have, I just want to ask is, there are certain phases in everybody's life that is a low energy level, which perhaps universe does not understand. Because universe only understand energy. And if at a given energy, when we talk about a given level of energy, then ask is fulfilled,
There is no energy. There is no low energy. There is nothing called as low energy. Even when you say that I am not good enough, I don't deserve, universe says, your wish, my command. I will give you 1,000 reasons to prove that you are not good enough. If you say, दुनिया में दुख बहुत है, कुछ भी ठीक नहीं है, ये घोर कलयुग है. Universe says, tathastu. There is no low energy. There is always an ask. Even if not asking, there is an ask. There are people, I go with the flow. Go with the flow is that you have surrendered. Ask is when you have not surrendered, you choose what you choose without justifying it, without trying to be right, without seeking validation from anyone. Yeah. Okay. So Bratati asked one question and let me answer that. She asked, is there any specific time which is good for ask? Yes, this is very important question. There is one time which is specific time which is very good to ask. Can anybody tell me what is that time?
Every time?
Now.
Now.
Now. There is no time better than now. You live in the moment. You have no idea of what is going to happen in future. You cannot control it. In the now, you can ask. If you want to dance, play music and dance right now. If you want to swim, do it right now. If you want to travel, plan, do it right now. If you want to confess your love for someone, do it right now. And that is a choice. And if you have an ask, let the universe know right now. Just now, at this very moment, speak loudly with your energy and tell the universe what is your ask. Yeah, does that answers you, Pratati? Yeah, okay. Anybody else have got any question? I would love to answer. Yes.
Subhash here. How are you?
Yes, Subhash. I can recognize the voice even before your yeah. Yes, good to see you. Yes, Subhash.
Yes, Geet. It's just one thing because as we have spoken last time, when I do on a different modalities, right, I get to a point where I see something which I also want, but I'm not sure whether it's I'm in a right track of asking again and again, or why does it show up? Let's ask you on that way.
So is your question, so first I hear that more than your ask, you give more emphasis to your doubts. It's like you have planted a seed in a pot, and more than the plant, you are focusing on the weeds and watering them. So if you wanted a job, a good and great job, you are finding all the reasons why you cannot have it. The market is bad. You are not qualified enough. You don't have enough experience. In last 1.5 years, you have been sitting at home. And all those are the reasons why you cannot have a job. So even before you apply for jobs, you go with all that energy. And like the universe's energy, everybody else's energy, they also perceive your energy. But when you go there, that I don't give a two hoot whether you select me or not, I know that I am a worthy person. They will get it. And they will run after you and they will hire you.
Okay.
Because it's your ask. And I'm glad that you have asked this question. A lot of times, you behave like a 5.5, 6-year-old little girl who have gone to a toy store and is hugging a teddy bear and saying, no, ye mera hai, main ye chhodungi nahi. A lot of times your ask is like a stubbornness that nothing else will give you the experience or the fulfillment, and you stop your life. A lot of you have been in business and one of the important payment has to come. You focus only on that. Once this payment comes, then everything will get solved. Your life runs around that. If you have created that particular contract, that particular client, you can create 10 more. But you have already defined that 10 more is not possible. This is a total stroke of luck. I am dependent only in that stroke of luck. You are not willing to receive it from any other source, and universe is directing various other channels to you, and you are not willing to receive. So your ask is conditional, that I will only have Ganga water and nothing else, and you reject everything. So you went to take a holy dip into the Ganga water, and you are only having Ganga, whatever is there. And then an oyster comes to you, let's say, with a pearl in it, and then you say, ye to Ganga ji ka hai, mere ko nahi chahiye. And then a golden necklace comes to you, flowing through the Ganga, and aapke haath mein aa jata hai. And then you say, ye nahi, ye bhi mera nahi hai, ye thoda na chahiye. I came here only for a holy dip. Then what will you get? Only that. You have already defined that if I want 4 lakhs per month, it is going to come only from my salary. That is not an ask. That is like controlling the universe. Trust me, there is no control panel of universe. You cannot. You are a tiny speck. You are so well connected. Universe is there to give you. It's like going to a 5-star hotel and room service se kuch order kar raha hai. And you order that. Your job is only to ask. Not define why it can happen, why it cannot happen, because then you are doing thinking is thinking. So next time when you go for an interview, a job opportunity, it's their problem to identify whether you are good or bad. But you are employable. You are worthy of not just one job, but many jobs. You will get it when you believe you are worthy. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Geet.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to connect it because when I graduated, I didn't have an intention. I just keep on applying 50 jobs at a time, whether they call me or not. Now I become very specific.
Exactly. So you're asked, and you have been asking only for a job. What if you ask for a job that contributes to you? What if you ask for a job where you can be a contribution and create a bright career? And you don't have to define how it would be. वो कैसा होना चाहिए? You don't have to define that. You have to only be the ask. भूख लगी है, कुछ मीठा खाना है. It doesn't matter वो मीठा क्या है. You get it?
Yeah.
That's how your ask is. It is not ambiguous, but it is a little fluid. If you don't give that fluidity, you will reject everything. Yeah, got that. Yes, Dikshita.
So, hello.
Hello.
I wanted to one was I wanted to tell you what I wanted to ask for so that you could tell me how should I say it, and the second is a question. So I'll ask the question first.
Okay, so one, you don't need to ask me how should you say. You just have to be your ask, and you don't have to seek validation. When you are not seeking validation, your ask is right. That's the way it should be. What's your second question? What's your first question? Sorry. Yeah.
That is key. When we were discussing some time back with respect to someone else's questions, we were talking, what feels heavy for us and what feels light for us. So, what happens at times is, for example, I'm finishing my second year and I don't know what I want to do. And for example, I was thinking of cat. This happened. And then, कि नहीं मतलब जैसे वो होता है ना थोड़ा कि so it's not feeling right for me मतलब it does feel heavy, but how do I know that I'm not running away from it? मतलब how do I know that it's actually feeling heavy or am I just running away from that thing?
Yeah, that's so. This is out of syllabus question of light and heavy, which I would cover separately, right? Because I'm not giving that tool here since this is on live and recorded. I will give that answer separately, but what is happening is you are doing judgment and conclusions and computations. It's not an ask. Is your ask to give cat? Is your ask to be an MBA or is your ask something else?
Ask me to I have written something else on this.
Good. Stay with that. Okay. Now, how? Let the universe define. Okay. So, if your ask is, let's say, that you would like to work with an advertising agency in the creative department, that's an ask. Or you would like to do creative marketing. That's an ask. How it comes, that's the job of the universe, not yours. So define your ask on the outcome basis. How would the outcome feel like? How would you be? What would you be? What would you be doing then? What would be fun for you then? When you define and be that energy, it will actualize in whatever way. And it can actualize in out of the box way also. Yeah? Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Crystal? Yes, Samita.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I don't know why my video is not working.
Oh my. Okay. Ask to start videos. I've requested if it works. No problem. Yes, what's your question, Samita? That's all right. You can ask. Oh, it's coming?
Coming.
Okay.
There is a problem. Maybe it's okay. Let me ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so during a salary negotiation, how can I ask more? So for me, what happens? Okay, I'm a fresher or I have lesser experience, but that's not my job to think, right?
Okay, so first thing, Do you need to ask more? What makes you decide that this is more, this is not?
People's opinion.
And then it's a desire. It's a provable desire so that you can seek validation from other people. See, I've got better salary. See, this is where a lot of people who start their job, especially as a fresher, they get stuck. They start judging a job opportunity on the wrong parameters. It's like a young woman is looking for a partner for life, and what she wants is a lot of love, lot of so what you're asking is a lot of love and a lot of understanding and a lot of mutual growth. If these are the three things a young woman is asking from a potential partner, and they judge that partner from height, complexion, religion, culture, wealth. When you are new, when you are fresher, right? What is your purpose of getting a job? Is it money? If you make money as your purpose in the beginning of your career, remember, it will always be about money. Is that what you want it to be? Is that what you want your career to be about, your job to be about? Is it a job or is it career? Or is it your expression of who you are and what you can be and what you can contribute? If you make it about money, then it will be about money. Instead, you should ask them so empowering and uncomfortable question from people who are interviewing you, that they should be like, this is the person we would like to have, because you should be asking, what growth can you promise me? Where would I reach with my career? How would you invest on my growth? How would you invest on my learning and development? If you were in my place, would you have taken this job or would you have recommended someone like me to go for another one? Ask these questions and your interviewers will be taken aback. But if you make it about money, all your life, job and career will be about money only. Is that what you want your job to be about? Because you may get approval from someone else, but it would be the shittiest job you are ever going to have in your life. Is that what you want? Is that what your ask is? And most of the time, and for people who have just started their career, trust me, you will never get rich in your first few years. It takes a long time for someone to work for someone else to be rich. It's a slow and continuous process of making wealth. First job itself, it's very rare that somebody started reaping the riches, because it depends on whether you are willing to have money. For that, I think you should be attending How to Become Money Workbook 10 call series, and you'll come to know what money is about. How you stop your money and how to open up your channels of money. So it's a different question. But do not make your job about money. And especially your first job, second job, third job, doesn't matter. I mean, especially first 4-5 years, it's not about money. It's about your growth. It's about your contribution. It's about finding who you really are. Yeah? Does that answer you? Samita? Is she there? That's all right. I think she got disconnected. You're welcome, Shilpa. Okay. Any other question? Somebody have got a question that I can answer? Anybody have doubt or query? Anything that I can facilitate? Yes, Neetaji. Yes. Would you unmute yourself? Huh. So, oh, sorry. I have muted you. Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I just now heard from you that we should not be asking too many questions. At the same time, it confuses the universe. What my thing is, like today, I have asked a question that I would like to receive a call from my son. Right. And after 2 days, I said, I want him to come to me also. That's an addition or a separate question?
So number one, it is about somebody else's choice.
Okay.
It is about somebody else's free will.
Okay.
Yeah. What you would like, it is not about receiving the call.
Okay.
But you are saying that you would like to have amicable, pleasant, and mutually contributive relationship with your son. That is your ask.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it's a call or whether he coming to you. That's a direct ask.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. You're welcome. Anybody else have a question? Feel free to ask. How many of you are stopping yourself to ask? Yes, Mahesh.
Geet.
Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah. See,
Yes.
now with our business, now we are in a rented space.
Okay.
And say my ask is, you told that you cannot be very specific, like the yellow Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Okay, it can be anything.
Yeah.
You know, you ask for a thing, which is say, I want a luxurious car. You know, so it could be anything. It could be a Benz which comes. So for me, say for example, I'm having an ask of our company having a own space, which is closer to our home. We don't spend too much time in the traffic, easily accessible with nature around. So I just wanted to find out whether this is a specific ask or is it?
I think it is not very specific ask. It's still, you're not saying that I want it in this society, this building. It's not a specific ask. Right? It is saying nature around our own place, and it takes less time to reach there. It's a pretty much fluid ask.
Okay.
Yeah. And no ask is wrong. You can always redefine your ask and keep telling the universe, because it's the energetic understanding. In fact, universe does not understand not. A lot of times people say, I do not want mean people around me, and they get more mean people around them, because not is a word universe doesn't understand. Whatever you do, and a lot of times when you ask people what do you want, they will keep on telling about what they don't want. Right? So your ask is very simple, takes less time to reach. Even if it's far from your house, it takes less time to reach. And that is what matters. And it's our own space, and it's in nature. It's a very clearly defined ask. Yeah, and it's perfect. Okay. Thank you for asking. Yes, Yash.
So you said thinking is thinking, right? So how do you not think?
So how do you not think? Okay. The most beautiful answers, get your bars run. Get your bars run. Get an access bar session. Give it to yourself. Take it from someone else. And you would be doing less thinking and you would be doing more choosing. The second thing is very, very important. Stop judging you. Stop calling you right and wrong. Stop trying being right. When you do that, thinking will be out of your way. Easy. Because in every moment, then there would be only choice. And you're not making yourself wrong about anything. So stop judging you. These are the easiest, and you know all other tools. Yeah? Does that answer? Get your bars run like crazy. And you have people around you. And get bars run from every time different person. Catch hold of them, bribe them, but get your bars run. Cool? Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Yes. Is there anyone who has an ask?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
I have.
Okay.
I
All
asked
right.
for a I
Yeah.
asked for a Q3 or D for myself.
Okay. And this is your recent ask?
Yeah, this is my recent task.
Okay. All right. And so it is. And so it is. Having no judgment, having no control, you just let it go at Q3 audio and go and take a test drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever you feel like, go and take a test drive of Q3. They won't say no, right? They'll say, Madam, aa gayi, fir se test drive lete. Yeah, that's okay. Go and take a test drive. Okay? Good. Anybody else who has an ask from me or a question? I would love to answer. Otherwise, we are done with the call. Great. All right. Thank you so much. And please keep your ask up in the universe. Let the universe know what your ask is.
Sure.
Do not judge yourself. And remember, magic lies at the end of logic. Hasta la vista. See you sometime again on
Thank
one
you
of my
so
calls.
much.
Yeah,
Thanks
you're
a
welcome.
lot.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thanks a
thank
lot.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.